Welcome to the PT Legends podcast, where co-host Dave Bess and myself, Scott Carpenter, share our journey and secrets of success. From our humble beginnings as personal training employees of a big box gym to struggling studio owners that have made every mistake in the book, to where we are now, the owners of a multi-seven-figure business operating multiple personal training studios internationally, and now coach and mentor to fitness professionals in 5 countries and counting. This is our story, and these are our secrets. Subscribe to our podcast, learn, take action, and build your own fitness empire. Welcome everyone back to the PT Legends show. Today is going to be a little bit different than our normal podcast. And yes, it's a lengthier one, but it is massively important that you listen to this. We have Robert Schwartz, who owns All Fit in Orlando, Florida, on today. And he was somebody for the last 5 years has been struggling, bring in 10, 12K. In January, he started adding on nutrition coaching, building things up, getting around to 15K or so. When he started with PT Legends and learned how to do what he's already doing, but charge high ticket, he literally sold 40K in new business in his first month. And that's just what was collected, not the total package amount, in 1 month. This October 1st to this October 31st, he officially launched, and he went from finishing September at 21.2K, and he finished October at $59,700 in a 2,200 square foot group training facility. Guys, this is amazing. And he is somebody who just embodies what our program and our teachings are all about. He first read the book. He was on vacation and he's like, holy shit, this is what I'm capable. My business and me, I am capable of doing so much more. And so we have him as a guest. But what we're going to share on this podcast is we recently relaunched our Facebook group. As you guys know, Dave and I, we didn't intend to build PT Legends. We have our 6 gyms. We're functionally retired. We're good. We started doing this because other gym owners are saying, hey, can you teach me how to do what I do? How you do what you do in your gyms inside of my business model? And we started this thing by accident. And the fact that we have a podcast is absurd. And it's turned into a movement. And we had a Facebook group. Admittedly, we did nothing with it. And because, again, this is built because there was demand for it. And we have relaunched the Facebook group, where we break down all the pillars of our system and teach you how to build these transformational programs. We teach you how to sell them. We teach you how to fulfill and renew them step by step every single week. So if you haven't joined, absolutely join. If you have joined a while ago, but we didn't do anything, get back in there, re-engage, because we are going to teach you everything that we know so that you can do this as well. So in the show notes, you'll find the Facebook group link. Definitely go in there and join. And there's tons of free resources and trainings that we'll hook you up with as you come in to get you up to speed on it. And in the meantime, listen to our what we talked about in our first video, our first live video on Facebook. We have Robert Schwartz on. He's going to tell his story, and we're going to overview exactly the steps that he took to do it and the challenges that he overcome, and exactly how he went from 21.2 to 59.7K in one friggin' month in October 2022. So this is a very special one. I know it's a little bit longer than usual, but it is worth listening to. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week after you listen to this. All right. And we are live inside of the Facebook group. Guys, this is super exciting. Launching our 7-Figure Gym Secrets Facebook group is just so exciting for us. And we'll introduce everybody. So we got Dave Bess on here. Dave Bess is the Kool-Aid man. He's my partner with PT Legends.
I got some Kool-Aid today too. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. By the way, he's called the Kool-Aid man because you get on he's the world's best teacher for sales ever. And you get on one 5-minute phone call with him and you feel like you can just explode through the wall like the Kool-Aid man, right? Oh yeah. And then we've got Robert Schwartz on here. He's the owner of All Fit Orlando. And Robert, special thanks for you for being here because you are kind of in the middle of a hurricane.
We are, and it's actually an honor to be here and to be your first guest on this. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And to give everybody and all you fitness entrepreneurs and gym owners an idea of what this group is about and why we decided to launch it, just the bird's eye view is Dave and I, we own 6 gyms and we've known each other for a long time. We've struggled for a very long time. The fact of the matter is we had figured out some amazing things over the last 2 years and really invented kind of a new way to bolt on in any business model, whether you're large group or semi small group, one-on-one, or even virtual, how to bolt on a high ticket offer for people who need more than just workouts. And instead of being a commodity, whether you're group or PT, you are solving problems that nobody else does. And when you bolt this on as an additional offering for people who need more than workouts, they either need to have body composition goals, get in the best shape of their lives, or completely change their lives, you have this option. And it drastically explodes your revenue and profitability, as Robert can attest to, and can completely change your business, no shit, in 4 weeks, in less than that. And I know it sounds a little good, too good to be true. And the fact that we're actually talking on this group right now is absurd, because Dave and I never intended to get in this space. So I am one of the world's most skeptical people in the world, you know, and as you see the Facebook feeds of the gurus and stuff like that, I'm very skeptical. I never, ever wanted to be one of those guys. But what we did on our gyms and how it impacted our business, word spread on that. And we had people that asked us to help us do this in their gyms. And we said, sure, why don't you hop onto our Zoom calls? We're training all our GMs on this. And they blew up, and then it spread. And somehow we had to create a business and systems around it. So this is our passion project, guys. We're good with everything we have in the gym, with our gyms. And we're going to share with you our P&Ls. We're going to share with you how our gyms do and operate, be very transparent with that. But this is what we love to do. We've taken so many struggling gym owners or stuck gym owners and had them cross an entirely new level. And it's been amazing. So what do you have to add on that, Dave?
They're going to think we're full of crap. We're going to hear Robert's story, because the proof is in the pudding. Like you said, there's just so many gurus out there. I never wanted to do this. Like when I remember the first conversation that you had, like, can we teach this to other gym owners? And I'm like, I really don't want to, because I didn't want to be that guy.
It's true.
Now it's with the fitness industry, like, it's our obligation to. Yeah, we're going to talk about like Robert and his financial, but let's just start it off, Robert. Like, how much better do you feel like as a Robert in just 30 days of doing this?
I am actually having fun running my business again. And that's probably the best part about it. That and the vacation that I'm taking from my gym for the holidays, that's probably the 2 best things that have come out of it, besides the revenue and transforming the way that I look at things. That right there is the number one thing for me. I'm having fun.
Yeah, you're going on 3 weeks vacation as a.
I am, yeah. So I always wanted. I was telling my wife, I said I always wanted to be one of those guys, you know, like the Griswolds who take 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off during the holidays, and they go travel and say, I'm a Floridian, born and raised. I've only had one white Christmas, and it was when I was in boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois, and I did not enjoy it at all. So I'm going up north. We got some relatives in Ohio. Hopefully there'll be snow, and we'll do those Christmassy things that people do. And I've never done them because I'm always stuck working in my business. So
it's awesome. Awesome. So why don't you start, like, what's kind of the background? Like, what's your business model? Where were you?
Sure.
And then we're going to share like what the results that you've seen in just 30 days, but we're also going to share like how that's done. Like, we're going to share the framework and exactly how you can do this in your specific business model as well.
Perfect.
Yeah. What's your journey like so far?
So I do want to start, because you guys brought up the whole, you know, you never wanted to be a guru person. I never thought I would be a person who would go to a guru and say, because I always thought they were full of shit too. So let's just all agree that we all thought all of this was full of shit, but here we are. And it actually works. So quick origin story about myself that people should know. About 15 years ago, I was 250 pounds, 2-pack-a-day smoker, overweight, out of shape, fat, sick, nearly dead. And I went on a journey to lose 100 pounds, and I did it. And it was life-changing. It changed my life so much that I realized that this is my calling in life. This is what I have to do. So I took a lowly entry level membership manager, membership counselor job at a 24-hour fitness. And my job all day was to make phone calls to people who wanted to buy, $30 gym memberships. But really what they wanted us to do is they wanted us to sell personal training, sell PT, right? So after like a month or two of doing it their way, I scrapped it, started doing it my way. My sales went through the roof. Regional manager comes in and says, what are you doing differently? I said, I do nothing that you taught us to do. I just sit and talk to people. I talk to them about their story. I talk to them about my story. I relate to them and I explain to them how much it changed my life. And I just try to be relatable. And that compounded my PT sales. Anyway, I knew that I had a thing for it. So I just ended up pursuing personal training. And then, I worked as a manager at 24-hour fitness, went off on my own, did some side hustle, PT, worked in different levels, chain franchises, your boutique gyms. I did all that. And after, I think it was like 8 years of doing it, I had one crazy gym owner too many to deal with. And I said, screw it. I'm starting my own business, right? I felt like I had enough following. I was ready to do it. So I opened up my own gym. And the first thing I did was I'm gonna open up my own gym and I'm gonna compete on price. $69 a month unlimited, right?
Get it.
We've all been there, right? $69 a month. I can't even believe that that's what I charge for an unlimited membership. But yeah, that was it. I'm gonna compete on price. And it was great. Everybody loves coming to my gym. Didn't make any money. I made enough money to pay the bills. I never saw the red, but I didn't see anything in my pocket either. So like a lot of gym owners, and if the gym owners that are on this, you're gonna really relate to what I'm gonna say. I had the 120 mindset. Man, if I can just get to 120 members, all my problems are gonna be solved. I'm gonna make a 6-figure income with 120 members. That's all I need. I was wrong, right? I was so wrong actually that when I hit 120 members at my gym, I didn't even notice it because there was nothing extra in the bank to make me feel like I should celebrate any type of success. So after 5 years of doing this, January, right? January was our 5th year. And I sat down with my wife and I had a conversation with her and I said, look, I've been doing this a long time, almost 13 years. And I feel levels of success. My gym has won awards, best of Orlando and best of this and best of that, but I'm not making the money that I feel that I should. I'm not providing for my family the way that I should. I'm working a lot of hours. I'm super stressed out. And I told her, I said, look, this has to be the year. I just called it. I stuck my stake in the ground. I said, this is the year. At the end of this year, we're going to call it Love It or List It, like the TV show. I'm either going to love this business or I'm going to sell it because I can't keep doing this anymore. I'm frustrated, right? More members, more staff, more everything. It incrementally does not mean more profits. So I had to figure something else out. So I went on a journey. I started thinking about what can I add? What can I do to add more value? What can I do to add more revenue into my business? And so I started with the little steps, right? Nutrition, like you touched on in the beginning. People need more than just a gym membership. So I brought in a great nutrition program. It's fantastic, right? So we started adding some more to that. What else can we do? We can do retail. We can do this, we can do that. So I started adding all these other different revenue streams. And I was making a little bit more money, but it wasn't the same. I felt like I was getting some traction about halfway through the year. I was like, okay, I'm getting traction. We're making a few more bucks, but it's still not the money that you would think as an owner you would be pulling from your business and bringing back to your family to say, look what I'm doing, honey. Look at how great our business is.
What were you hitting on like your gross revenues at that point on like an average month?
So our gross revenue at that point was around like $12,000, and hey, by the way, 5 years ago when I was charging $69 a month for a membership, like $12,000, like, wow, right? But again, gym owners, you can relate to this, right? You get, as the gross revenue increases, so does all the things you do to have to maintain that gross revenue, right? And more coaches, more systems and processes, more this, more that, more space. It just continues to grow, and your net grows with it. So you're not pulling any extra from the business. So, all right. So we're at summer. I'm feeling better. I've got some traction. We're growing little bits and bits and bits and bits, but I'm not quite there yet. So we went on a vacation, and I'm one of those guys who I read a lot, but as you know, we all get busy. So, I try to do like 20 minutes of reading a day, but sometimes it gets put on the back burner. But vacation is a great time. We went on a cruise. It was a 5-day Caribbean cruise. It was great. I was like, well, I'm going to get some reading. I like to get something to get me going and get me recharged to come back and slay my business. Right. Well, somebody recommended this book, and it was in one of the groups that I was in, one of the Facebook groups, and somebody said, you should read this book. It's a really great book. And I didn't think anything of it. I saw the cover, high ticket for affiliate gyms, how to make an extra $100,000 a year. Full of shit, but whatever. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a read. I don't even know who this guy is, but I'm going to give it a read. All right. So I take it on the cruise ship. I'm just sitting out there in the middle of the Caribbean. It's beautiful. I got a cocktail. I'm reading, and I'm not kidding you. All right. I start reading the words, and it felt like Scott was speaking directly to me. Like the things that he was saying in this book made absolute sense to me. I was like, yeah, you're right. And I just kept, it was like a page turner. I probably killed this book in about an hour and a half. I was just flipping. I was like, yes, what's next? You were speaking to me from the book, but really and truly what you were saying to me is you were reminding me of the things that I knew deep down inside, but 5 years of gym ownership and trying to please everybody and trying to do this, that, and the other thing, I've buried deep down inside. I told you my origin story because that's what I had buried. What got me into this business in the first place is I was great at selling fitness. I was great at selling personal training. And if you've ever been to a big box gym, by the way, it's not cheap at a 24-hour fitness, right? I think they're charging like $120, $150 an hour. So it's not cheap. And I was really good at it, but I forgot how good at it I was because I got caught up in all the other things that we do to try to make money in a gym. That, by the way, is all bullshit. You just keep spinning your wheels. You're not going to make any more. So I read this book, and everything that he was saying was making sense. It was like Scott was, and we said it in the title, it was like Scott was Morpheus, right? It was exactly how I felt. The first time I met Scott, this is exactly what I said to him. I said, dude, I'm Neo. And I was plugged into the matrix of the day-to-day monotony of trying to make money running a gym and just ho-humming through it. But you were like Morpheus, who showed up one day with black glasses and you held your hands out and you said, take the red pill or take the blue pill, right? You want to take the blue pill, keep going, keep trudging along, keep doing what you're doing. Maybe you're going to sell your gym at the end of the year. Maybe you'll make enough money to keep it. Who knows? Take the red pill, and I'll unplug you, and you can look at your business in an entirely different way. And that's what I did. I took the red pill. This book was my red pill. I looked at my business entirely different way. Because again, it wasn't anything. There was a lot of really great nuggets, but the gist of what he was trying to tell me in this book was stuff that I already knew deep down inside. I just needed somebody to come out and flick me in the nuts and say, hey, big boy, you know what you need to be doing. Put yourself in the position to do what you know what to do it well, and to charge a premium price for it, because not only do your clients deserve it, but so do you. And that's what this book said to me. I went home. I read the book. I went home before I even started working with Scott. I went home. First thing I did, I changed everything about the way we were doing business. I changed from the front end. The way that we started, I stopped letting people come into my gym and take free classes. I wanted to meet everybody that comes into my gym. You're going to meet me. We're going to talk. I'm going to see you. I'm going to get to know some information about you. And literally in the first opportunity that I had, I sold a $3,000 transformation on something that I was selling for $499 a month already. So a $1,500, I doubled the price of that. And it was so easy. They didn't even flinch. They're like, sure, no problem. Because I guess I had done a good enough job at that point to connect the dots for them that they understood, okay, this guy's going to help me. And I didn't have to change anything about the way that we were already doing it, because by bringing in the nutrition, and I have trainers in place, and I had everything in place, I just needed to really connect the dots on the back end and put myself in position in the front end to execute this. And I did that once, and it was easy. And then I had one more, and I asked for 4,000 for the same thing. And they were like, yes. I got right, Scott. I got to talk to this guy. I messaged him immediately. I said, dude, I need to talk to you. Let's find out. And actually, ironically, Scott was in Orlando like 2 weeks later and actually got to meet him in person, and we had a great time. But man, seriously, the red pill. That's what this is all about.
Yeah, it changed fast. We closed that bar down, by the way.
We did close the bar down. True story.
Yeah, it changed everything for you fast because we started working. Was that in September? Like sometime in September.
It was late September, right?
Late September. Put it in place. Yeah, you kind of just sold it impromptu.
Correct.
Boom, right there. And then your plan was, so you sold it before you were ready. You're officially going to roll this thing out October 1st.
Mm-hmm.
October 1st, and then October 1st through the end of the month, October 31st.
Mm-hmm.
What were your results on that one?
So, well, as I continue to remember, we talked about way back, we're at $12,000 in monthly recurring revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So right about the time that I started doing this program, I was just a little around $21,000 in monthly recurring revenue. After my first month doing this officially by the numbers, the way that it was set up here in this process, I almost reached $60,000 at the end of my first month. $60,000. Honestly, I never thought that would be. I never looked at my business ever and said I was going to do $60,000 in revenue without 500 members and a staff of 25. There's no way that I was ever thought about my business doing that kind of gross revenue. And by the way, my gym here, I've only got about 2,200 square feet. I got 10 trainers, 2,200 square feet, a couple of nutrition coaches, but I always thought, remember going back to the numbers, okay, 120 members, selling gym memberships. If I just get to 120. So back in the day, $60,000 is unfathomable for me, but definitely unfathomable for me for just having, I think we have 142 members here at this gym. So that's insane numbers for me. Mm-hmm. Blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I mean, you picked that stuff up fast. Dave, you called it. Because right, you were so bought into this, Robert, that when we had our call, you're like, let's do it. I'm like, I haven't even told you the price. We didn't even get to that. You're like, I don't care. Let's go.
Didn't matter to me. And
then you just crush it. And then when I, got the 3-way text message to get us all connected and going, Dave, you met with him once. And what'd you say?
I said he's going to beat my record. So like the first official month that we launched it, like I sold over like, I don't even know, like 40 to 45. So I challenged Robert. I was like, you're going to do 55 this month. And he hit 59. It's just, the thing that makes Robert like, so like, he gets it. He understands that when people come in and they sit down, it's not about weight. It's not about workouts. They're not looking for meal plans. What they're looking for is a guide to take them by a hand and say, we're going to utilize health and fitness for you to live your best life. That's the thing that Robert gets. And when any gym owner, when they have that moment, everything changes.
That's 100% accurate. 100% accurate, because you're right. When people walk in the door, most people walk in the door of your gym and they're already beat down by something, right? They're beat down because if they're looking for a gym, and especially, and I say this to you guys all the time when we're talking, in Orlando, Florida, if you guys are familiar with Orlando, we have a giant metropolitan area. The traffic here is horrendous. It's like LA, right? So most people will come within a 1 to 2 mile radius. Sometimes that could be a 15, 20 minute drive. So for somebody to get in their car, drive down 20 minutes to come down and to come to your gym to check it out because they want to know what's the price, how much does it cost? Because that's what everybody leads with, right? How much does it cost to go here? Because they don't know what else to ask. They don't know what else to ask because they don't want to say to you, hey, hi, I'm Robert. I looked at myself in the mirror yesterday and I didn't recognize myself. And I said, I've got to do something because I've got low energy and I've got kids at home and I can't keep up with them. And I ran down to the mailbox the other day and it was raining and I was out of breath. They're not going to tell you that. So we're doing them a disservice, but just selling them a gym membership and saying, oh, okay, well, here you go, without actually getting to the root cause of why they came into your gym. If you can't understand the root reason of why somebody came into your gym, you're never going to be able to really help change their life. You might sell them a gym membership. They might join for 6 months. They might join for a year, but are they ever going to get real change enough to really look at you and say, you changed my life? Are they? They're not.
That's less than 5% of people. And those people are very internally motivated. They're ready. They're going to do all the things outside of your gym. Mm-hmm. And they would get results doing anything.
Correct.
Like they would get results with that gym, going to that gym. They have that. They're ready for, right? The rest of the people, guys, that's your job. That's your job. Here's the biggest newsflash ever. Nobody fucking wants to work out. They just don't want to work out, except for us fitness freaks. Okay. That's it. The rest of the people, they're there trying to solve a much bigger problem. They're there because they don't feel good when they look in the mirror, right? They're there because they don't feel like they're living their potential. They're tired. They don't feel they're a good example for their kids. Some people want to hide in their clothes, right? And skip out on parties and get-togethers because they're uncomfortable. It weighs on people. And when you start getting that, learning how to peel back the layers of that onion and figuring that out, that's how you truly help people. And that's why it's worth somebody to spend $3,000 to solve a problem like that.
100%. You got to help them connect the dots. And remember, one of the things that I always remember, and I tell myself before I sit down with anybody, is I remind myself of the 2 reasons why I do this. And anybody out there, if these are not your 2 reasons, you're in the wrong business. The first reason should always be you want to help change people's lives. You want to help people. The second is you want to change your own life, right? Nobody goes into business because they want to be poor, right? You want to change your own life. You want to change your own family's trajectory. So every time I sit down with somebody, I pep talk myself and I remind myself that this conversation right now that I'm going to have with this person could be the conversation that they look back on 10 years from now and say, if I didn't meet that guy, if I didn't walk into that gym, I might not even be here right now. If you remind yourself of that and you go into to introducing and learning more and talking to people that walk into your gym, you're going to be, here's my credit. They're going to do this like I did with you. Here you go. I don't even know how much it costs, but here you go. That's it. Right? Because they want change. They just want you to show them how you're going to help change them. And they want to believe that you're going to be the one to guide them through it. That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's no different from what Dave and I help other gym owners doing now. Like what you were talking about, Robert, is sometimes you get into business and you have these big dreams and these big aspirations, right? It's you want to be this figure that helps change people's lives and they look up to you, they listen to what you say, you motivate them, right? And you're kind of running this community and spreading this amazing gift. And then the reality of being a gym owner sets in and bills and cancellations. And, you get a competitor that moves in, has low rates and this and this and this. And then you have some coach that does something crazy, makes you feel stupid. You lose a ton of business and like over and over and over. And they're like, oh my God, how do I even do stuff on social media and paid ads? And you're just all over the place. And then you're stressed because you got a personal guarantee. There's a million things you could be doing. What should you be doing? What's effective? Oh my God, what's the latest Instagram algorithm that I need to pay attention? Like, oh my God, shit. It's hard. It's hard.
I feel seen right now. Everything that you're saying was literally me January of this year. Everything that you just said, that was me. All over the place. Broke, burnt out, tired, personal guarantee, members all over the place. What should I do on Instagram? Everybody says do reels. No, do TikTok. You know what I mean? What works? What doesn't work? But at the end of the day, right? But at the end of the day, if you're a tired, burnt out, broke, stressed out, unhappy gym owner, how are you going to help other people become their best selves, right? So again, you have to remind yourself 2 reasons why we do this: to change other people's lives and to change ours. And that, I think, is the most important thing. When those people out there, when they say to themselves, I'm going to ask somebody for $3,000, $4,000, $7,000. I'm going to try to do it without my butthole puckering when I say it. Yeah. Do you want to know why? You got to believe in that, because if you're not making the money to change your life to be happy, healthy, and rested, how are you going to help them? So have the confidence to ask for it, because that is the kind of revenue that you should be generating from your program. And that's the kind of commitment you should be getting from the clients that you're working with at this level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just tough to get out of that with all that stress, and it's just so many of us had these amazing dreams for our business. And then once the reality of business ownership hits, we forgot about that dream and we're just trying to survive and get by.
Sure.
And so even if you're doing pretty decent right now, you're not struggling, but you'd like to grow, but sometimes the more you work at it, you bring in some more revenue, but the expenses climb and your profit it still isn't. Yeah,
it moves
exactly.
Together.
And then you just kind of, a lot of us just kind of we quiet quit on ourselves, right? Is kind of what happens. And we just resign ourselves to a very average business and with very average influence and a very average life and very average results for everybody, ourselves, our families, our clients, our employees, right? You name it. And, you know, this group is about shaking you up. That's why we wanted Robert on that. Like, you can change the entire course of your business in your life for you and everyone in it in a matter of weeks, in a month. 100%. Robert is not the only one out there that's watching this that can go from 21K to 59.7K in 30 days. Like, that's not typical, but you know what is typical? Doing 15, 20, even 30 grand in your first month. Like, we see that. That's not that uncommon at all. And maybe you're slower and maybe it takes you 2 or 3 months to get there. But guess what? You can completely change everything incredibly quickly. And yeah, it's really, you don't have to change your business model. It is just by bolting on like another option, a high ticket offer for people who need more than just workouts. That's it. That's it. And I guess this would probably be a good time to kind of just show them a little bit like, what's the framework behind this, right? So what is the framework? Let me try and share the screen here. And can everybody see this right here? You can see this, Dave, Robert, good to go.
Yep, got it.
So here's a little bit expanded version. Like, originally you started with this price multiplier method, right? But if we break this down and simplify it a little bit for the purpose of today's training, and our group, this group, what we're going to do, we're going to come to you every single week. And we are going to teach you this framework. We're going to teach you how to build it, sell it, fulfill, and renew this stuff so you can start to make some of these changes yourself. Okay. And if this got you pumped up, like if you have almost quiet quit or given up, or you're struggling a lot, comment right now. Just comment, that's me. Comment, that's me. And admit that and say, just, yes, I want to do something about it. It's that powerful. That's why Dave and I are here talking to you right now. Robert's story, we've been there. Mm-hmm. We have been there. In fact, and this will probably be a story for another day, but I can take you through that journey of look at young me. Yes. Look at me like this is probably like 9 or 10 years ago. I've got like some hair underneath the hat.
You still had some jack biceps though, bro.
Still some jack biceps. Dave's like off the charts here.
Yeah, I know.
But like I struggled for a long time. Like that middle photo right here, that's with everybody with that's a 5-year anniversary. That was when I got slammed and hurt the worst. I had an employee that I really trusted do some dirty stuff. And this is a story for another time, but man, I gave him another shot and transferred him to another location instead of letting him go. And he blew that one. I had 2 locations and he just utterly imploded. And I was bleeding revenue out the ass. And I was working 60, 70 hours a week every day, no days off for months. And that's like a picture of miserable me when I had a newborn son. It was the worst period of time that I've ever had. And anyways, COVID is what spawned this. Dave and I, Dave panicked during COVID, right? Because you lost two amazing trainers at the location you were running, like right before the pandemic hit. And then, so what did you do as a result?
I spent $60,000 in coaches when Carrie was 7 months pregnant. I had the moment, like I was put on this earth to change lives, and I'm not changing lives. And it wasn't even about the money. Why I spent all of this money is like I wanted to make an impact. So I just started spending massive amounts of money to try to figure it out.
Yeah, he spent tons of money with 3 or 4 different online coaches.
Correct.
And so at this time, Dave is a minority partner in one of the locations, right? And then he freaked out. He's like, holy shit, right? And he spent all this money. And then I felt horrible because I'm like, okay, as your partner, I've failed you. I failed to provide the opportunity and help you create the life. And I felt like total shit, at that time, because like you were when we had that sit down, right as COVID, and we were closing down, you were crying at that point. And I'm just like, I felt like the biggest failure on earth. Right. And you said, I'm going to try and do this online thing. And that's incredibly difficult. And really what happened was that then we came together like, okay, let's work on this thing together. And then we're like, well, how are these online, high ticket online guys doing weight loss programs or whatever, selling these programs at 3 to 8K, right? How are they doing this with low touch point when we're here as gym owners providing so much more value and we're charging freaking peanuts for it? And that's when we put our heads together, right? And we're like, we started working on it together. Then I'd been developing this habit-based coaching program during this time that was doing phenomenal, insanely scalable. And we merged these two into this Frankenstein baby. And we launched this in, was that mid-August of 2020 when we started to reopen in Arizona. And then this is where your lead sheet. Yeah, you did over 40K in 4 weeks. And this is before we got good. This is before we raised prices. It crushed. And then, so there's 5 other gyms too. At that time, 4, right? So there's 5 gyms total. And then we're like, okay, can we duplicate this across all of ours? Because this works. And so that's what we did. And we set up Zoom calls 3 times a week, I believe it was, Dave, right?
Yep.
With all our mayors, that's what we call our GMs, right? Taught them how to sell it. It's already been built. So how do you sell this thing? How do you fulfill it? How do you renew it? And then it just changed everything. These numbers you see were new business numbers in, looks like April, okay? And then it just hit whole nother levels. Our people, our mayors started making more and more and more money. Like they had careers, man. And then we're going out to dinners and stuff like that at nice steak restaurants. And this was when we started getting noticed by other gym owners because I was part of another group at that point, mainly CrossFit gyms. Ironically, we're not CrossFit, but then they're like, what the hell are you doing? We hopped on a phone call with a couple of them. They're like, this is amazing. Can you teach me how to do this in my business? And Dave's like, I don't want to do it. But I said, you know what? Like, we're doing these Zoom calls with our people, right? Why don't I work with them on the business end to build it into their specific business model and fine tune that? And then we'll have them come into our Zoom calls and we'll see if we can help them. And then boom, that was it, man. They just catapulted like Robert. And then they told other gym owners and then same thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, we got to build systems and infrastructure. And it just blew up and it turned into our frameworks and a podcast and books. And now this Facebook group, which is amazing, where we're going to teach you every single week on how to do this in your business. And now we work with people all around the world, which is amazing and humbling at the same time, because I feel like we're the luckiest people on earth to do this. That we spent over in 3 years, we spent like $200,000 worth of coaching and the best people who do just this and this and this and this, right? And we bring that to you. So anyways, I don't want to get into everything, but the bottom line is having a higher price point solves literally every problem that you would ever have. Everything becomes easier. You can always try and get more leads, okay, and sign more people up. But the more people you have, the more it works against you. Because if you have 5% churn, if you have 8% churn, if you got 100 members, you're losing 5 to 8 a month. And you got to sign that up just to prevent sliding backwards. The more successful you get, the harder it gets to get beyond that. Because if you got 200 members, guess what? That's 10 to 16 people you got to sign up just to prevent a loss. It's tough. Like price is everything. Everything. It's just we're scared. We're scared because we're selling commodities. And what we teach you is how to not do that, right? So really the framework that we're going to teach you every single week, simplified, we're going to teach you how to build out your high ticket transformational offers, right? What do those look like? Okay. You probably have 2 or 3 different options. They're going to look something like this. Does it have to be 9 weeks? No, it can be 8 or 12, but 9 weeks works very well. And we'll tell you why in a future training. It's going to look something like this, but guys, for people who aren't candidates for transformation programs, that's totally okay. Flip it over. Here's your other price sheet, man. There it is. And so often you can take your regular group rates if you have a group model and increase those at the same time because your price anchoring so high. So even if you never sell one transformation, you can go like, I think I've got him in here. Robert Gill, he's somewhere in there, but he went from $120 a month to $220 a month.
Yeah.
No problem selling it. Virtually doubled his prices overnight just because you can do that and you're worth it. You have to do that.
It was the first thing you told me too. And it was the first thing that I did once I started working with you guys. And it was problem. Nobody bats an eye at it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Can you imagine right now? Let's say you're scared to death to sell one of these. Okay. You'll sell it. But let's say at the very least, you double your membership rate. Can you imagine that right now? So any of you with a group model and you charge whatever, double it. So take your revenue, multiply it by 2 right now. And all of that is pure profit. That would completely change your life in a worst case scenario.
Yep.
So that's it. Like, how do you build these transformational offers? How do you put them together? What do you sell up front? What are your case study offers for your existing members who need more and are ready to do more than just working out or basic nutrition coaching, right? And then what are your renewal offers? That and building out the program to fulfill it. Okay. So building out all that. And if you don't have a program to fulfill it, you get ours. Okay. We built an amazing, simple, scalable program that you can just have. Okay. You just get that. And it costs $0 a month. It's not like you're paying $200-300 a month on an app. Like you get that and you can private label it too. Okay. So build out this transformational program. Then we teach you how to sell it, right? Robert, you were talking about how to run your business a little bit more like a doctor's office, right? You're taking control of that sales process.
I'm going to tell you that the doctor's office, like that chapter in the book and that pillar of this framework, that right there was the one thing that completely flipped everything for me. The way you put that, the way that it's presented, that was that moment for me when you reached out from the book and you grabbed me by the throat and you said, "This is it. This is the way, man." And I was like, everything that you say about that doctor's office is 100% accurate. And if you can just flip the script, you don't have to do anything. You just have to change the way you let people come into your doctor's office. It changes everything. And it puts you on the offense instead of on the defense. It's great.
Absolutely. Changes the game. It's just, they're calling you up. What are they going to ask? What are they going to ask?
How much does it cost?
Yeah. They don't know the difference between you and the guy down the street. Good training, bad training, good coaching, bad coaching. They don't know the difference on anything. They don't even know that they don't want to work out. They don't even know that in their head. It's just like, I feel really shitty about myself, right? I'm overweight. I'm tired. I don't have any control in my life. It's like whack-a-mole, waking up every day, trying to get stuff done. And I'm tired and I need to get in shape. Therefore, I need to work out. Therefore, I'm calling your ass. And you're just trying to sell me workouts instead of what I really need.
That's it.
Guys, you're more than that. So a doctor doesn't do that. I don't go into a doctor, tell them what I have going on, what I need, and ask how much it is. That is not how a doctor's office works.
Oh, and don't forget, and tell them what you need to fix it, right?
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
This is what's going on. And I need 3 stitches. I need them tied in this certain way. And oh, by the way, I need you to do this for about $100 or less. Okay. And can you see me tomorrow? Right. Do that in the doctor's office, right?
This is it. Exactly.
All the time in the gym, right? They come in, they tell us what they want, right? I don't want to get bulky, so I'm looking for like some HIIT. And I've heard on the internet that I should be doing this, and too much weights is just not good for me, so I need that. And then I want to do keto because I heard that's great, and my budget's for like $100 a month.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Right? And we allow that shit to happen. So like we shut that shit down before they don't even get a chance to do something like that with this process. When you run your business like a doctor's office, you know how they have that ultimate authority? We've all had a client quit because my doctor told me to stop working out. Okay. Right. And we've gotten that. For good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, people listen to doctors.
They do.
Guess what? You can be that person in your business too. when they view you as the authority, you as the ultimate expert, they will shut the hell up, listen to what you had to say, and they will take your prescription and they will buy it for $3,000 or $2,000 or $8,000. I can guarantee it.
Well, think about this, right? We are the only, right? We're in the health industry. We are the only sector of the health industry where people walk in our door and tell us what they need and how they need it and when they want it. Everywhere else, even your cosmetologist, right? Or your esthetician, hey, I got this going on with my face. What do you think I need, right? You ask them. But for some reason, when it comes to trainers and gyms, there's no respect. They just tell us, hey, this is what I need. This is what Sally does. That's what I'm looking for. Can you give me this? They don't come and say, this is my problem. Please tell me what you think I need. Imagine how we could change the whole industry collectively if all of us ran our gyms like doctors' offices.
Oh, it'd be insane. And so we'd actually have respect and people would listen to us. How many times have you been corrected when talking about nutrition? Not corrected, but they'll interject and tell you about nutrition.
Literally every day.
And it's like, every day. You don't get that anymore with this. So 3-step framework, first of all, build it out, learn how to sell it, be that doctor, find that bleeding neck issue, you diagnose it, you give them the solution. We'll teach you how to do an amazing 7-minute discovery call that they send you the 3 to 5 reasons why it's so important for them to change. And it just sets that perfect consultation up to just crush it. This is an example of a text message. If your thing is big enough, I'll let you read it. But she pours into this, that she wants her confidence back and she's embarrassed to be seen naked, leave the house. She covers up and avoids get-togethers. She feels that she's a bad example of her kids, energy, constantly drained, perpetually exhausted. My mind, I feel like all I think about all day, every day is how awful I feel, how my body feels heavy and gross, tired, embarrassed. It gets in the fact that it affects the intimacy with her spouse that she has. This was after a 7-minute phone call when you do it the right way, guys. This consultation, when I had that, is a lot different. And the bottom line is this problem right here, is this worth $3,000 to solve? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, it is. It's worth more than that. And
Sure.
This is what we teach you how to do. Okay. So this is why it's so important. Once you got that bleeding neck, then you make that perfect pitch. You're selling the solution. You're not selling workouts anymore, guys. You're not selling workouts. Working out is necessary. That's 3 hours a week, say, okay? It's necessary, but there's nothing magical you can do in 3 hours a week that will drastically change somebody's life. Nothing, okay? It's all about the other 165 hours in the week. That's what this program is about, okay? That's what you're offering. When you do that, you can just completely sell this thing. And then the last step, which, Robert, you're so new into this, you're only like just over a month into it, like month and a half or something like that. We haven't even gotten to the renewals. They're coming up soon. They're going to be coming up soon.
Right.
But fulfilling this and renewing this, a simple, scalable, effective system is crucial. This is where I struggle. When I worked for a big box gym, I worked for Lifetime Fitness for 4 years, right? And I ended up managing the staff, 25 to 30 trainers on staff. And then starting with Underground Fitness, the very first place, and growing to multiple locations, I've tried to scale a lot with nutrition, with accountability. A lot of it broke down when I tried to hand it off. It was very difficult. And the key is simplicity. We built an amazing system that just makes it so easy. And so if you're sitting there wondering, how do we fulfill a transformational offer? It's really simple. You know, the workouts, whether it's group or semi or one-on-one or virtual, doesn't matter, but that's a component, probably 3 times a week. All that we do in addition is we build out an onboarding session. Okay. We give them homework. We assign this. They have it right on their phone. They can fill it out. They become prepared to see what their habits are, how they currently eat, all that stuff. We do a one-on-one onboarding session to build out the actions that they need to take every day and week to become the person that they want to be. Okay. And then all we do in addition to that is we do a 15 to 20 minute Zoom call, can be over the phone too. We do a mentoring call, right? And on that call, it's so stupid simple. You don't have to be a nutrition professional. You don't have to have a 4-year degree. You need to do so much less teaching about nutrition because that person, guess what? News shocker, they don't give a rat's ass, okay? They don't care about gluconeogenesis. Don't mention it. Like, don't get into it. It's really all about action, man. Did I just impress anybody that I knew gluconeogenesis?
I mean, I was impressed.
Yeah, your clients aren't, right? So it's very simple. Like, look at the data. Okay, look how they did. You can see their exact compliance percentage. What went well this week? Celebrate a win, not just where they screwed up, right? You got to keep their mindset in that bumper lanes, right? What went well? Give them some credit, okay? Give them some wins. What did you struggle with? Based on what you struggled this week, you're going to have a small conversation. Was it snacking late at night, right? If it was snacking late at night, talk to them. What's the best solution around that? Maybe it's taking that pint of Ben and Jerry's and putting it in a coffee mug, so you just have a little bit instead of eating out of the pint. Maybe you find a better substitution for them. Or maybe they're like, man, I just want to get out of that habit. I don't want to do that at all. I'm like, cool. Let's get that shit out of your freezer, throw it out, and let's have you brush your teeth after dinner. So you're discouraged from snacking on shit you don't want in the first place. But you'll work that out with them. The point is whatever they struggle with, give them one key action item so they can reduce the friction and make it easier next week. And you just do that week after week after week. And
I want to point out what you just did, though, and that's so important for people to understand, is when he was talking to his, client, you see how he let the client we celebrated the wins, then he talked about what he struggled with, and then he let the client tell him, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. So you're not taking things away from the client that they didn't want to do. The client said it themselves. And then all Scott's going to do is coach to that. Okay, you want to get rid of this. Let's come up with a game plan. And then you just coach to the game plan. That's it.
It's so simple, guys. It's stupidly simple. But it has to be. It has to be stupidly simple if your clients are actually going to change something. And guess what? It has to be stupidly simple if you want to scale out and not always be that coach. If you want your staff doing it, the process has to be so stupid simple, or guess what? It doesn't happen. Ask me how I know through dozens of iterations of this crap. Right? So, and yes, you have your supporting stuff linked up to it. If you're training people virtually, if they need to do, it's all there. The amazing thing is in the renewals, though. The amazing thing is in the renewals, because one of the criticisms or the false beliefs, if you will, of something like high ticket is, okay, yeah, well, getting a $2,000, $3,000, $6,000, short-term program is great, but what's the likelihood they're going to renew on that? That's what naysayers will say to just avoid even thinking about this. Well, it's damn near 100%. Okay. There's ways that you build out the back end offer for a price reduction, quote unquote. Okay. We have a simple three-tier offer typically that works the best. See, you can renew for another 9 weeks at that same price, or you flip to a 6 or a 12 month, convert them to EFT and give a price break. But that price break is you're still making massive amounts. And because they still have a lot of skin in the game, they still stay in it and do the right thing. But renewals are something where a lot of people are not that great at, or don't really give due respect to. And so we're going to teach you that whole renewal process where it is beautiful. You're going to get the best amazing testimonial review you've ever gotten. Okay. And make it just so stupid for them not to continue, even if they truly have budget limitations and have to drop down to workouts only, whether it's PT only or group only or whatever your format is. You should virtually never lose anybody after this. But the chance of them continuing on a mentorship of some type is extremely high. Extremely high.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's baked into our entire system. We handle it early. Week 6, we give out homework in week 5 that gets them thinking, not just about the weight on the scale. And I know, Robert, you're super excited about this. But it gets them thinking about a lot more than just, I'm down 8 pounds. Great. Right. So, because people get in their own heads, they're like, well, I'm down 10, but I need to lose 40. I'm not even halfway to my goal and I've been working so hard. I should probably just bail. This is what people think all the time,
Yep, they sure do.
And so you make it so stupid for them not to continue. And they basically make it so stupid for them not to continue because they think about it. And then on your call, which we typically do the mentorship calls over Zoom, hit the record button, man, because then you're going to ask them, they had time to think about it. You're going to ask them, what was the problem you were having before you started with us, right? What did the frustration feel like as you tried to solve that problem? What's different about your journey this time when you started with us? What kind of changes have you seen already on your journey? And how's it impacting your life? That's a story. That's like, I struggled with this for the past 13 years. And I tried solving with all these different workout plans and restrictive diets, right? It felt frustrating because I would gain and lose the same 10 to 15 pounds over and over. Here's what was different about when I started with Robert, this amazing experience. Here's the changes I've already seen. And this is how it's impacting my life and me as a person. And my God, thank you so much. I feel like you give me a second lease on life. Mm-hmm. And then that's when we hit them with the last question that's not on there. It's like, what would you say to someone that's on the fence about starting this program? And they're just going to lay it on. Like, you have to do this. It's going to change your life, right? It is the most glowing testimonial that you can use everywhere. And that's where it just leads right into that renewal. It's so stupid to not continue after they just told you how amazing it is. And you can say, look how far you've come after 6 weeks of you taking deliberate action on the things that you need to do every day and week to become the person that you want to be. Look at that in 6 weeks. Imagine where you're going to be in 6 months. Imagine where you're going to be a year from now. And then you just go right into it. It's beautiful, guys. And Robert, you haven't even gotten there yet because you're so new into it. You've gone to like triple your business in a month and you haven't even had a damn renewal yet.
No, but like I told you guys before, like I went into this and I'll tell everybody watching this that you can't if you put too much emphasis on the selling, the initial selling and the fulfillment, and you don't put as much fervor into the renewal process, you're going to end you're going to be making great front end money, but you're going to be chasing that revenue every month. Right. Mm-hmm. So we get into this business and we're doing this for ourselves so that we can profit and continue to profit. We don't want to have to constantly be chasing our tail every month. We want to sell, we want to increase, and then we want to build upon that. So the building block of building upon that is getting renewals. And also for you guys out there, think about the culture of your gym. Think about how easy it'll become to sell these programs when you have a gym culture of people who are changing their bodies, who are happy, who are excited to be there, who are bought into your program and are literally just excited to be there and happy to be there and are changing lives. Imagine having an entire gym full of those people as opposed to, hey, I'm going to be out of town for 2 weeks next week. Can I freeze? Right? Like, you're going to have a gym culture filled with a lot of really great, happy people who are happy with your product and are spending a premium price for it. And don't complain. Those are not the people that spend that kind of money and are invested in their health and their fitness and that you're coaching the right way. They're not the people who are going to come to you and say, hey, I'm going to be out of town 2 weeks in December. Could I freeze this? They're going to be the people who say, I'm going to be out of town for 2 weeks. How can you help me get through this? How can I stay on track while I'm gone? Right?
Absolutely. Guys, the people who pay this, they see the value in it. They're happy to pay it every month. And those are the people who expect the least, complain the least, get the most out of it.
100%.
It's your dream clients.
100%.
All
the people in my gym that are in this program, they are literally the people we hear from. I actually have to seek these people out because I'm constantly like I'm overseeing the process. So I always want to make sure that everything's going well for them. I almost have to seek them out and like get face on with them sometimes to get something out of them on how things are going because they're so focused on everything else and transforming themselves that they're not bitching about, oh, there was no paper towels in the bathroom, or oh, you were out of soap, or oh, you raised prices to $20. They're not bitching about that. They're focused on doing their work and getting themselves to the next level of their transformation. They're not focused on all the little bullshit. And so they're happy. And I'm not having to, they're just literally the least of my worries when it comes to those gym members. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And people who pay attention. And if on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you look at the people who pay the least in your gym, probably the biggest pains in the asses.
100%, you're spot on. Anybody who's watching this is a gym owner. If you say no, you're full of it. You know it. You know, all those people that have been with you from the beginning, those those grandfathered rate people, you know that you have probably been, and that's one of my mistakes, right? They're the squeaky wheels that get the most grease. Mm-hmm. Imagine all the time and effort you spend on pleasing those low end, low paying, high complaining clients in your gym. If you focused half of the time that you spent on them into obtaining and fulfilling high ticket transformations, these people, I don't even worry about them anymore.
You'll be happy when they leave.
Yep. Seriously. Bye.
And right now you might be scared that they leave, right? Because of attrition. I mean, ever since COVID, like group has been falling, like the retention is lower post-COVID for some reason. And it's hard. And I know that we feel scared to lose anybody. What if that fear went away? What if you running your doctor's office, if you felt somebody was a little bit rude or not a good fit, you told them to start somewhere else? We've done that. We do that.
Yep.
Dave, you did that. What happened with that?
Yeah, it was, and it all starts on the 7-minute discovery call. You get to qualify them. Like, you understand, is this a person I want to work with, or if this is a person I do not want to work with? And a young lady came on and she was a pit bull. She just went at me. I just want to know the price. And I asked her point blank, is the only thing you value right now is price? She said, yes. So I send her to my buddy in Orange Theory. I go, you need to start here. Like, go there. It's $125 a month, move and groove. When you're ready for something more, you'll know when you are and reach out. She reached out 90 days later, came in, paid $3,000 for a paid in full membership. So that's the beautiful part, guys, with this. You get to hand select the people you want to work with. And that's powerful.
And look how powerful that is. If we allowed her to just take control over that and we signed her up and bent over backwards and did whatever, she would have been a pain in the ass.
100%.
And that's our fault. That's our fault.
Correct.
By doing that, holding our ground, we turned her into a dream client. But even after the very worst, you avoid having that disaster of a client in your four walls, you have won. So when you are doing what you can do and you're going from barely making bills meet to all of a sudden Robert's like, holy shit, what do I do with this extra cash? You have a lot more confidence, certainty to turn people away. Not that desperation, if I got to sign up every lead that comes in here, right? And that is so powerful because you're in control of your own business at that point.
100%. And I'll tell you, just to go back to talking about those ideal clients and things like that, I know that there's probably some gym owners out there that are listening to all the things they're saying, they're absorbing. They're like, wow, this is so much information, right? When we talk about like the simplest thing that you can do to start is like raising your rates, right? Value your business, set your rates based on what you need to provide the very best service and value to your clients, not competing on price with other gyms. Mm-hmm. So I have a friend, hopefully she's on this call, I invited her, but we talk all the time. She owns a gym up in St. Augustine. And one of the things, obviously she's taking notice of the things that I've been doing. She's like, what are you doing? Da, da, da. So I told her, and I said, listen, why don't you start by raising your rates? I was like, I think she was charging $99 a month for unlimited. And she also included childcare in that. I'm like, that's insanely low, absolutely insanely low. And she's the only person in her whole area that does what she does. Right. And I'm like, that's insanely low. I said, raise your rate. She's like, oh yeah. Hey, mom, what if they cancel? I said, listen, if you do a price increase of $20, $30, $40, $50. If you do a price increase in $50 and somebody who's been with your business since the first day, and that's the straw that broke the camel's back for them, they were quitting for a whole nother set of reasons. Buyers are liars. If they quit your gym over a difference of $20, $30, they were quitting for another reason. And you'd probably be thankful that they're gone because they were a cancer or a bad apple. Maybe you didn't know about it as an owner, but there was something else going on with them that they were just unhappy. So I told her, I said, raise your rates. If somebody cancels, let them go. Be fine with it, because you need to turn your attention towards the people that are there and turn your attention towards bringing in new people who are going to complain less and spend more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we got so much to share, and so we'll kind of cap it here, but like, this is what these live trainings are going to be every single Thursdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. With the exception of Thanksgiving week, we're going to do it on a Wednesday. But put this in your appointment, put this in your calendar, and attend as many of these, because we're going to walk you through how to build it, how to sell it, how to fulfill it, how to renew it in this group. And there's a handful of you out there who are like, holy shit, I need to do this. I'm ready to go. Like, let's start doing this now. I want to do what Robert has done. If that's you, book a call with us. And we can go over the details to see if this would be the best fit for your gym and what are the first steps that we would do for it. If that's you, just comment below me. We'll reach out to you and we'll set up a time with you. So if that's you right now, comment right now, say me, and then we'll send you a message and get that arranged. We can take a page out of the renewal part too, Robert. What would you say to someone that's on the fence about starting this program?
100%. You just need to believe in yourself and go all in. If there was one thing that I did this year when I said I'm putting my foot in the ground and I'm going to change my business, is I pushed all my poker chips to the center of the table, because I said to myself, if I was going to love it or list it, if I listed it at the end of the year, at least I was going to say I did everything I possibly could to make this happen. Just like we tell our clients when they come in, let's not make it about price or time or anything else. Let's make it about solving a problem. So if your problem is you are working your ass off in your gym, you're growing, but not making any more money, you need to change the way you think. Take the red pill, read this book, call these guys, get involved, do it, and do it for yourself, do it for your family, and do it for your business.
Awesome, dude. Robert, thank you so much in the midst of the hurricane. And by the way, hurricane coming, you did what in the last 2 or 3 days of new business?
Yeah, 16 grand.
16 grand in 2 days.
Yeah.
With a hurricane coming in on Florida.
Correct. Literally rain bands coming in. My literally last appointment. I'm like people had appointments for today when we were closed. And I was like, can you come in tomorrow before the hurricane? They're like, yeah. And they're like, oh, there's a hurricane. I was like, I'm pulling out, I'm signing them up. Like, let's go. We start Friday.
Awesome, dude. What an inspiration. Thank you so much for taking the time. Is awesome. Guys, every single week, every single Thursday, we're going to teach you another step of the framework. Tune in. We will see you next week. Thanks, guys. Dave and myself, Scott, would love to thank you for tuning in and listening to the PT Legends podcast. You can get direct access to us by joining our free Facebook group. Go to www.facebook.com/groups/7-figure personal trainer. That's 7-figure personal trainer with the number 7. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep on learning and keep on living. Finally, if you picked up any tips whatsoever in this episode that you found helpful, be sure to leave us a review and tell us what you like best about it. Can't wait to see you on the next episode.